Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciated, so thank you in advance. Today's episode will be an RPG because we have to do a bunch of RPGs, so let's, start knocking some of these out. But this game is also special to me because I was playing this game as we were building Engage Gaming. Let's talk about Octopath Traveler. It's also pretty cool to talk about this game because the sequel was just announced. So if you have never played this game, I can kind of give you a breakdown and maybe you'll play it, and then that means you'll get the sequel and then I get to get more entries into the series. But yeah, the Octopath in the name implies that there are 8 paths or 8 characters you get to pick from. I always pick Primrose to start because, I like her story, and also she has dark magic, which is very useful, especially early on in this game. Because when we get to the battle system, you'll see how, you can use that to your advantage, and how, just like most RPGs, knowing what an opponent is weak against or the best attacks to use, really helps you out. In this game, it can be really, really beneficial, and also like you need them in order to complete battles. But the stories are really good. Each character has a motivation for what path that they're on, and then you see how all of these paths intertwine, because there's always some nefariousness going on in these games, but there isn't a bad character is the reason I bring that up. Like, all of the characters are written very well. They all have their own different motivations, and the map that you use in order to find all of these characters, like you go to these different lands, and the graphics themselves are just really great and different. The way it's like, it's got that old school look and feel to it, but there are things that are very modern about the way this game plays, the way this game the battle system works. Like, everybody has a skill that they can use outside of battle, and you'll need to use that in order to complete not only the main campaign of the game, but there's a bunch of side quests. Like, every town you go to, there'll be another set of side quests you can do. Some of them lead to other side quests, getting XP, getting items, all of the things that you love about grinding in an RPG is here. The motivation to keep trying to get something else, get something stronger. And there's even like class changes that you can get to as you progress in the game. Like, for me, it knocks out so many boxes on my RPG checklist. Like when I played this game, I remember Steven telling me like, nah, you're gonna really enjoy it. And I'm like, yeah, they're not giving me that old school feeling, which isn't bad. Like, I like the newer RPGs and what they present to the genre as well. But this game really captures what made me fall in love with gaming more during like the PlayStation 1 days, where it was like you had all these, different RPGs coming out, and all of them had something like familiar yet different about what was going on. In this setting, they got the high fantasy style setting, so there's not a lot of technology involved, but every once in a while you see like something that's like, okay, you mix a little magic in and you can, make some technological advancements, or at least the appearance of. But yeah, if you are a fan of RPGs, this is the type of game that you would really enjoy. Obviously, when it comes to the battle system, there are a lot of things in your favor. So they use this bonus system where you can, each turn you get bonus points, and you can get extra attacks, or you can do stronger versions of your magic attacks, and it really helps. So where like early fights or like lower level fights or non-boss enemies, you can deal with them very fast, helps you level real quick, right? But then when you get to the bosses, you have to start managing those battle points, because you need to do what's called breaking, where you knock them out with their whatever they're weak against, and you knock their shields off. And it's really important to do that, otherwise these boss characters will just fold you in. And I love how, like, when you're going against some of these boss characters in like the story, they're like normal size, and then when you get into the actual battle, they're like these huge, like kind of like what happens with Kefka, but on a much more scaled down version, where he's this little guy. For those Kefka, Final Fantasy VI. But when you actually get into the battle with him, he was this giant like demon angel looking thing. But these are like caricatures of the sprites that you see in the story mode when you actually get into battle against them. And I always thought that was like another cool touch, because in a lot of these old RPGs, it would just be you fighting the sprite, and then it kind of looks weird because all of the different enemies will actually have like these, elaborate forms, and then the main characters you fight, they just be the little sprites. So I always like that about this graphical style. And again, this game is really important because every day we would work on the shop, working on Engage Gaming, and then I would go home and I would just play Octopath Traveler. And I played this originally on the Switch, And I really never really played it on the actual TV. I used to just play it in handheld mode, which was like a incredible experience. It felt like I was playing like the next evolution of the Game Boy Advance, which you know how I feel about that. So if you are an RPG fan, I'm telling you, if you haven't played this, missing out, get on it. It's a fantastic experience. Can't wait for the sequel. And if you have favorite characters, anything that stood out to you about this game, I'd love to hear from you about it. Either way, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.